for most of you, it makes a lot of sense to make a 5 or 6 sided box for your project that packs down flat. That's flat pack. And there's an easy way to do that. You don't have to go into Inventor and design the entire thing on your own, because the people at this website, Makercase.com, have a really good tool that I highly suggest. And you can get the fancy ones here. I'm just going to do a simple box. I really like the divider thing. And this is really set up for the laser cutter, right? So you do this, it dumps it out, and you can take it straight to the laser cutter, cut your box, and it works great. But we can also repurpose it, and you can do that here. Like, you could totally use our Glowforge here, or you could repurpose it and use it for 3D printing because you want you to do your holes or whatever else. So we're going to go in the simple box. Right, we're going to set the size. I'm just going to leave it 4 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches. Right, you can go ahead, change it to millimeters if you want that. You say, is this you're trying to keep a size? Is that 4 inches, 4 by 4 by 4 on the inside or the outside of the box? Let's say with the inside space, and notice it gets a little bit bigger, right? So now the inside volume is 14 by 14 or 4 by 4 by 4. Right, you set your material thickness. For this won't matter except when you go to assemble it, right? So you're gonna have to match these up. So whatever you pick here, right, that's going to be the thickness of your part when you go. So we're going to do 0.118. Right, and when we go, and you could also do a custom, right? Like, we can go in here and say, you know what, I want this to be 0.1, which is a really good thing. I wouldn't go much bigger than the 1/8 of an inch. That will cause you problems, and it's quite simply a waste of material. So we'll go 0.1. That's a really good wall thickness, just general use. I want it open on one side, no big deal. And then I'm going to say, hey, you know what? You have different finger styles. You definitely want to do either the finger. I haven't played much with the T to even know what the purpose of that is. But fingers are really good. It locks everything together. It makes assembling it so much easier, and it kind of holds itself together as you so you don't have to glue it shut. Because the whole idea here is you change one of these boxes. You want to, or one of these panels, right? The hole sizes, you need an extra hole, blah blah blah. You just replace one of those versus reprinting the entire box. And then we're going to make this smaller, and we're going to say, hey, we'll do 1/2 inch, right? And this is really up to you. More is probably a little bit better. And then you can look it around, spin it around, think about how it's going to be. You can zoom in and out, so forth and so on. Right, and then you can hit download box plans, right, and it's going to put it together for you. Now, when you go to do this, right, I haven't played with it yet to know exactly what the numbers are going to need to be, but you can compensate for the thickness. So we may have to play with this if they are too tight coming off the 3D printer. But we're going to print the panels, right? But we want to go here and say separate. We want those to be separate panels, right? And we want to change this to be in multiple files, right? Now, if we do download SVG, if we're going to the laser cutter, I would totally leave it single file, download them all, dump it to the laser cutter, and move on through live using SVG. However, we're using this for Inventor, right? So we're going to set multiple files, and we're going to say download DXF, right? And it's going to say, hey, it wants to download multiple files. Give it that permission, right? And it is going to dump out a bunch of DXFs, all right? And then when you do that, you can come over here to Inventor. You should know where that's going to download. It's probably your downloads directory if that's set up as your default, right? And so what we're going to do now is we're just going to go File, Open, right? And we're going to open a CAD file, import CAD file, right? And then when we go there, we are going to change to our downloads directory, and then we will see that in here, right? So we're going to hit box back, right? Now these are DXFs. it's going to come in as a drawing. And we can change that. It gives you a dialog box. You can hit next and next. We're just going to go with the default. So just hit finish. And it's going to pull it up as a drawing. Well, I can't use that to create modeling geometry, right? So I need to grab the outline here that I want. Now notice there's 3 layers here. We have this kind of blank layer. We have where it says back, and then we have the outside cut path, right? We won't make certain that you select the cut path, right? Right click, edit, right? And then now you're going to go and select everything, and then you're going to right click, right? Now I did this intentionally. Notice, and then so the next thing you're going to say, you're going to hit copy, right? I did not click on the line. Notice I don't have a copy, all right? So let's do that again and intentionally do this. Drag, select everything, and then make sure you're over the line. It turns red. Right click, right? And it will say, well, it should say copy. And and I'm doing this intentionally, right? This can be very tricky, right? When you go to select it, right? Because you're going to forget this, and you go to make the copy. It's not going to show up for you. What's happening, right, is you're grabbing these other 2 that you don't need, and it's causing you problems. So before you, right, go and do the copy, right, you're going to delete those extra files that are there, and just keep just the one that you want, and then you're going to say edit, then you're going to select everything, right, and now there is copy. All right, so I didn't do that to confuse you, but this is the part where most people go sideways, right? So if you delete everything but your cut path before you go and into your sketch, it will make your life so much easier. And so therefore you just hit copy, and now it's copied that sketch, right? And then all you have to do is open up a new part, file, new part, start a 2D sketch. Doesn't really matter which plane. All right, right click, paste, right? It's going to look like it's done nothing, but if you zoom out, there's your part. Finish, extrude, right? Notice that I did 0.1 before, so I will do the 0.1. And then now I have my part. This is the part where the place where I would probably go ahead and save it. But now you can go in, make a new sketch, right? And then go ahead and start building, right, whatever you need for the rest of your project. All right, in case you want a hole right in the middle, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so hopefully that works well for you. If not, give me a shout.